Okay, so how do you watch videos on the go when you aren't at home? Your phone? You're disgusting. You have to use the Video Now, a stunning disc-based system with an 80 by 80 screen that can display up to 16 shades of gray. It would play videos at 15 frames per second, and there was no backlight. Well, at least the sound was okay. And this was $50? What? Well, I guess it makes sense. The first DVD player was released in 1998, so I guess this was kind of practical. But when the Video Now was released in 2003, a good DVD player still cost around $80 or more. The Video Now was just $50, so maybe it made an easier sell for a lot of parents, I don't know. Anyways, the Video Now went on to sell 1.2 million units. Maybe it was just marketed that well. But this certainly wasn't going to be the only way to watch videos on the go. I'll talk about those later. But I'm still going to talk about Video Now. So the Video Now was a device that could play these things called PVDs. They held about 30 minutes of video on them, so most discs would pretty much just have one standard TV episode on them. The lineup of PVDs mostly had kids shows, but there were also music videos, and there were a few movies that had to be split up into separate discs. There were also a ton of mixed PVD packs where there would be a couple shows in one pack. Now, if you couldn't already tell, the quality in these was horrendous. The 80 by 80 screen was bad enough, but it being in grayscale only was the killer. Now, they knew that, so the next year they released the Video Now Color. They took mostly every issue with the Video Now screen before and then fixed them. The screen has a bigger resolution, it's backlit, and most importantly, it's in color. It's still not very good quality though. It was backwards compatible with regular Video Now discs, but the discs for this model were bigger. Then that following year, the Video Now Junior was released. It was pretty much just a differently designed Video Now Color. It had bendable discs for it that contained little kiddie shows. The next year, the Video Now XP came out with a clamshell kind of design. The PVDs released for it would usually have trivia games on them. There were also some games released for it, but they were just some episodes of QuickTime events on top of them. And you know how bad those types of games are. I saw one of those games at a thrift store for $5. And then the next year, the Video Now Color FX came out. It was a Video Now Color with a different design. That's it. But then the next year, you won't believe it, they discontinued all the Video Nows. Why? Well, DVDs were already becoming a standard once the first model was released. So that's kind of where the main craze for weird portable video players ended. But what else was released at the time? Well, in November of 2005, the Juice Box was released.
Juice box? That's not a juice box. This is a juice box.
Shut up!
Instead of using discs, it used cartridges. Those were good because with the Video Now, there was a ton of skipping when the device was bumped. That wouldn't happen with this though. This still had a problem with bad video quality. It was a 240 by 160 resolution and only played videos up to 10 frames per second. Not as many things were released for this. There were your kids shows, your documentaries, your WWEs, your music videos. There were so many dang music videos. What was the obsession with them? But the best part was an SD card adapter, so you could watch your own videos and play music on them. So now you aren't limited to a library. This was more expensive than the regular Video Now though, with it being $70. It was also of bad quality, so it really didn't sell well, and they didn't even give this thing a year before it was discontinued. It was also in market with its competitors, which were Video Now and GBA Video. Now this is certainly weird. The GBA was a game console, but they released cartridges with videos on them in 2004. This was a pretty good idea, I guess, because the GBA was already a game console, so we kind of a multimedia player with this. What was released on this line of cartridges? There were mostly kids shows released on this. It makes sense though, the GBA was already marketed towards kids. But there were also a couple of feature-length films released for it. You could watch Shrek, Shrek 2, Shark Tale, and that's it. But what's interesting is the movie collection packs. There's a pack that includes Shrek and Shrek 2 as separate cartridges, but there was also a Shrek and Shark Tale pack released on one cartridge. How'd they manage that? By compressing the whole thing. See, the problem with most of these video players is that the videos had to be compressed a ton for them to be played. I'm not sure how well these sold, but you didn't have to buy a whole new thing to use them, you just had to have a GBA. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the N-Power Fusion, but if you search for them, you can't find anything about them. Seriously, they don't even have a Wikipedia article. What I got from this is that in 2007, Nickelodeon wanted to make their own media player, but this never really went anywhere. You were able to play Java games on it, and then you could use your own media on it. So anyway, 4 cards were released for it, and they had whatever show's episodes on them. This totally flopped. Are you ready for yet another obscure handheld? Well, in 2005, the Digiblast was released, which was some weird handheld which you could play games and, again, videos on. They were in cartridge form, and this also flopped. It had an MP3 player attachment, so I guess that's kinda cool. This was mostly for video games, but was marketed as a media player, so that's probably why it didn't sell well. Anyway, in 2000, the Pixter was released, and it was like a drawing tablet for kids. But in 2005, a variant of it came out called the Pixter Multimedia System. It had video streaming capabilities, but mostly every exclusive cartridge for it would have some parts of the show on it, bundled with either a scene, video, or cartoon creator. But then, in 2004, the PSP was released. And for some reason, they released 1 billion movies and TV shows on it. How many though? Too many! The first release was in 2005, and the last one was in 2011. Why wouldn't you just use DVDs at that point? And also, you were already able to put your own dang videos on them, so I don't know what you would use these for, but whatever. Maybe you don't want to download any movies on your computer. This was pretty much the last major one of those types of videos on game consoles thing, and also pretty much the last major one of those videos on the go things. I think a few more were released after these, but like, no one really cared about them, and if someone did, they didn't really show up in my search. So what else can you talk about for this topic? In the 2010s, everyone decided to use streaming services like Netflix, so we probably won't get things like these ever again. But does anyone really want things like these again? Most of them had terrible quality anyway. You are able to make your own PVDs at least.
Press the fast forward button to play the fast forward button to play the disc. Or, if you have a Video Now XP, you can press B now to access the interactive feature. Or, if you have a Video Now XP, press the fast forward button to play the interactive Video Now XP. Or, if you have a
Juice box?
Shut up.
Now you can go to videownowjunior.com and
press the fast forward button.